As we continue to explore the ins and outs of everything that Detroit Become Human has to offer, there's one way to beat the game that I think is a little compelling, a little different, and I wanted to go through with you now how to get that and some of the changes you can expect. Now, the first thing you have to do in order to get this particular ending is to make sure that Connor and subsequently the humans don't find Jericho. If they don't find Jericho, that means a lot of different things happen. First thing you need to do, you can either play the game very poorly as Connor, not getting any of the needed evidence, so it's actually impossible for you to find Jericho, or at the very end, when you are in the evidence room, if you let the timer run out, unfortunately, Connor will be decommissioned, and subsequently, no one finds the Jericho except for the androids that need it for safety. Some really cool things happen at this point. First off, this is the only way to ensure that Connor has no position whatsoever in the battle for Detroit. He's not there. A new Connor doesn't come. He's just gone. Number two, if you are playing with Kara and Alice and they're still alive, you get some small changes in the scene where they speak with either North or Marcus. Instead of saying, yeah, we'll stay, they push and say, no, we're going right now. And if you do that, that will lead to the bus station mission in the Battle of Detroit with Luther if he is still alive. I think that's the only way to make the beginning of that mission start with those three characters, and then in the option to save Luther, instead there are two Jerrys to enjoy. Also, a pretty depressing spoiler, if you have a bad relationship with Alice at this point as Kara, you have the option to be distant with her. Normally, if Jericho is being attacked, then you'll have the chance to either abandon her or help find her when the attack takes place. If there's no attack, then after you're distant, you're just abandon her. That's the end of that particular storyline. So very interesting way of how that can end right away. As for the Marcus or North and just the whole android uprising, it's very similar to the other scenes that we've seen when Jericho is attacked, except this time after a choice is made, basically he just sits there and thinks about it for a little bit. The big changes that you'll see come in the next mission, if you're looking at your flowchart and trying to figure out how to get those really strange singular flowchart completions, chances are this is how you need to do it, because North or Marcus declare war or a quest for peace in Jericho, which has some pretty cool ramifications in the Battle for Detroit. If you're going for a military option, there are more people, more androids, because the hundreds that you had weren't lost. Unfortunately, this doesn't actually lead to any change in dialogue. I tried to play it through that way, and yeah, the numbers are still the same. And unfortunately, if you thought this might be the best option, it really isn't, because even if you do have a solution through military action or even through peace, you don't have Deviant Connor there to get those extra androids from the CyberLife facility. So it kind of reaches a stalemate, and it's one of the endings that you've seen before, where essentially the war has just begun. And finally, this way of Connor not finding Jericho is one of the three pieces that you need to ensure that you get that secret Kamsky ending. There's no flowchart for that. There's nothing to complete. It's just something you can see yourself that kind of blows up the canon. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Again, we're almost done here, discovering everything there is to know about Detroit Become Human. Thank you again for taking the time to watch a little bit of our work here.